Hello and a very good evening. You're watching the news at 6 on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are the headlines. Attorney General K. Venugopal hopes for early resolution of the controversy involving top judges of the Supreme Court. Bar Association meets to discuss issues raised by the judges. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to arrive in Delhi on Sunday for a 6-day visit to India in a special gesture. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to receive him at the airport. Enforcement Directorate conducts searches at Karti Chidambaram's properties in Delhi and Chennai. Investigation concerns Foreign Investment Promotion Board approval granted by then Finance Minister P. Chidambaram in 2006. And US President Donald Trump says US will extend relief and sanctions to Iran for the last time, but says that the US and Europe must fix Iran nuclear deal's terrible flaws. Attorney General K.K. Venugopal has expressed hope that the crisis in the top judiciary would be settled soon. On Friday, Venugopal had said that it was an internal matter of the judiciary and must be resolved within. The Supreme Court Bar Association, the Bar Council is addressing a press conference now. Let's listen to what they have to say.
कल सुबह 9 बजे से हमारी मुलाकात शुरू होगी और कल मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि 12-13 जजेस से हम मिल लेंगे।
सारे सुप्रीम कोर्ट के होंगे?
सारे जजेस सुप्रीम कोर्ट के होंगे। बाहर का मुद्दा है नहीं, इसलिए बाहर के किसी से मिलने का कोई मतलब नहीं।
बात हो चुकी है उन लोगों से या फिर अभी
अपॉइंटमेंट हो गई है, इसीलिए आपको बता रहा हूँ।
सर जज लोयर्स की आकस्मिक मौत का जो मुद्दा है वो उठा था और राहुल गांधी जो है उन्होंने भी बतौर कहा कि जजेस ने ये मुद्दा उठाया है, इस पे पूरी उच्च न्यायालय की सबसे सीनियर मोस्ट जजेस से इंक्वायरी होनी चाहिए। उस पे बार काउंसिल का क्या रवैया है?
नहीं, देखिए उस पत्र में लोया जजमेंट का नाम नहीं लिया गया है। दूसरी बात, लोया केस जो भी है, हम इस मामले से पूरा बार मर्माहत क्यों है? जुडिशरी के बारे में बोलने की अब वो नौबत हमने दे दी जिसमें कि राहुल गांधी, पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज अब इस पर डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं। हमारे न्यायपालिका के लिए ये बड़ा ही दुर्भाग्य का दिन हो जाएगा, इसलिए हम उस पर ज़्यादा कमेंट नहीं करेंगे। इस चीज़ को राहुल गांधी जी से और सभी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज से, मैं किसी एक का नाम नहीं लूँगा, सबसे मेरा आग्रह होगा और सभी सेंसिबल पॉलिटिशियंस से मेरा आग्रह होगा बार के बिहाफ में कि वो इसको पॉलिटिसाइज ना करें, इस पर कोई पॉलिटिक्स प्ले ना करे। न्यायिक प्रणाली पर अभी लोगों का अटूट विश्वास है, उस विश्वास को बने रहने दें।
Moving on now, the Enforcement Directorate conducted searches in multiple locations linked to Congress leader P. Chidambaram's son Karti Chidambaram on Saturday. The raids were conducted in Chennai and Delhi in connection with the agency's probe into the Aircel Maxis deal.
2 days after issuing fresh summons, the Enforcement Directorate conducted searches at nearly 10 addresses linked to Karti Chidambaram, including the residence of his father P. Chidambaram in Delhi and Chennai on Saturday. The searches started early morning at 9 locations in Chennai. A simultaneous search was initiated at the Jorbagh residence of his father and former Union Minister P. Chidambaram. The searches were in connection with the Enforcement Directorate's money laundering investigation into the Aircel Maxis case. News reports suggest that some incriminating documents were seized during the raids. P. Chidambaram termed the exercise a comedy of errors, claiming that the search team could not find anything and was left embarrassed.
There is no FIR in respect of a scheduled crime registered by any police agency, including the CBI. In a comedy of errors, they came to search the premises in Jorbagh, and the officers told me they believed that Mr. Karti Chidambaram was occupant of this house. I told them that he is not the occupant of the house. He is a resident of Chennai and I am the occupant of the house.
The Congress called it malicious vendetta campaign against its leaders.
We are not at all surprised by the malicious vendetta being unleashed by Modi government against senior Congress leader, including Shri P. Chidambaram and his son Shri Karti Chidambaram. Every day false cases are being heaped upon. Every day Prime Minister and Modi government misuses ED and CBI as captive puppets to seek revenge against opposition leaders in order to suppress their voice, in order to suppress democratic dissent.
The Enforcement Directorate investigations relate to the Foreign Investment Promotion Board approval granted in 2006 by then Finance Minister P. Chidambaram. The agency says his son Karti disposed of a property in Gurgaon which he had allegedly rented out to a multinational company to whom foreign direct investment approval was granted in 2013. The agency's charge is that Karti closed some bank accounts and attempted to close other bank accounts, allegedly to frustrate the process of attachment under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. The ED is also investigating Karti in another money laundering case pertaining to the INX media deal. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah was in Delhi on Saturday to meet the Congress President Rahul Gandhi. The meeting was to discuss the imminent assembly elections in the state.
With assembly elections in Karnataka round the corner, the political scenario in the state is all charged up. Karnataka Chief Minister K. Siddaramaiah was in the national capital to meet Congress President Rahul Gandhi. He assured Rahul that people in the state are happy with his government's work as they have fulfilled all promises.
He is very happy with the functioning of the party, happy with the functioning of the government, and he is very happy that our government has no anti-incumbency.
Siddaramaiah was accompanied by several senior party leaders from the state, including State Congress in charge K.C. Venugopal. Karnataka is among the few states in the country where the Congress is in power. The party is confident that it will be able to retain the state. Congress President Rahul Gandhi also expressed satisfaction over the party and the government's work in the state.
The Congress party is very much confident, and before the Congress President, all leaders are assured that Congress will go unitedly and we will have a victory.
The meeting comes just a few days after the BJP held demonstrations against the state government in Bengaluru.
Telling Siddaramaiah government, if you are terrorists, I am BJP, I am RSS, you arrest me and put me into jail. This is what our demand. You should apologize immediately, otherwise you should arrest us immediately. That's what our demand.
Meanwhile, the BJP is leaving no stone unturned to wrest power from the Congress in Karnataka. The party also recently launched a Parivartan rally in the state. Navikram Singh's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, moving on to some other news now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will have a summit meeting on Monday. In a special gesture, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will receive him on his arrival in Delhi tomorrow. Here's more.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will reach Delhi on Sunday afternoon for a 6-day visit to India. He will be accompanied by his wife Deborah Reed and a huge official and business delegation. In a special gesture, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will receive the Israeli Prime Minister at the airport.
India and Israel have been commemorating 25 years of diplomatic relations. On this occasion, Prime Minister of India undertook a historic first ever visit to Israel in July 2017. The visit of Prime Minister Netanyahu is a return visit on this occasion. The program of PM Netanyahu includes a visit to Delhi, Agra, Ahmedabad and Mumbai. He is likely to be accompanied by a business delegation.
Netanyahu will also have a summit meeting with the Prime Minister on Monday. Discussion on security, defense, agriculture and innovation is expected, and a number of agreements will also be signed. Also on the cards is an understanding on some impending defense deals. He will also meet President Ramnath Kovind and also take part in the India-Israel Business Summit.
Agriculture, water, S&T, innovation, startup, space, education, culture, homeland security and defense. During the visit of our PM to Israel last year, we have upgraded our relations to a strategic level with special focus on agriculture and water. So far, 28 centers of excellence in agriculture are being set up in 11 states in India under the cooperation between the Ministry of Agriculture.
Briefing the media on the visit, Israeli ambassador in India, Daniel Carman, said both countries have had 25 years of diplomatic relations and the relationship is complementary.
There is a lot of complementarity between both countries, and we see it day in and day out in various endeavors that we do together. And the main task, I would say, is to enrich and to bring more disciplines and to bring more areas of collaboration and cooperation. And again, those who have met me before know that I'm stressing a lot the word cooperation. We're talking about cooperating, bringing the strength of each other to the table. And this joint table, which was usually mainly thought of to be rich in the area of defense, now is much richer in so many other areas.
Netanyahu will also visit Agra, Ahmedabad and Mumbai. Prime Minister Modi is expected to accompany his Israeli counterpart on all his visits. There will also be a joint roadshow in Ahmedabad.
India is one of those countries where we are more understood when we say that we don't need the international community to give us lectures about what should be happening in our own ground and country.
Netanyahu will also visit the Taj Hotel and Nariman House, both places in Mumbai where Pakistani terrorists had struck on 26 November 2008. The dead included some Jewish people. Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, a Pawan Hans helicopter with 5 ONGC personnel and 2 pilots on board crashed into the Arabian Sea on Saturday morning. The chopper was scheduled to land at the designated oil rig at Mumbai High. According to Coast Guard, 4 bodies have been found so far, while 2 of the bodies have been identified so far. Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas Dharmendra Pradhan, along with Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, are reviewing the rescue operations and have extended all possible assistance. The Navy had deployed its stealth warship INS Teig for the search operation, while surveillance aircraft was also pressed into service. The Coast Guard had also diverted its ships to search for the missing chopper.
Today there is an unfortunate information is coming from Mumbai High. One helicopter with 5 senior officials of ONGC and 2 pilots were going towards the platform in the high sea. Something happened. Now we have Navy and Coast Guard is on the job. I have a preliminary discussion with Honorable Defence Minister. She is also cooperating. She has instructed already Navy and Coast Guard to look into the issue intensively, and we all are concerned.
Well, for all other updates from across the country, here's Nationwide. At least 2 children drowned and 6 went missing after a private boat with 40 students capsized in Maharashtra. The tragic incident took place on Saturday off the coast of Dahanu in Palghar district. The students had gone for a picnic. 32 students were rescued, while operations are on to find 6 missing students. The Coast Guard deployed its ships and aircraft to help in the rescue operation. The Income Tax Department seized 85.2 crore rupees in cash, bullion and jewellery from a private vault in Delhi. The search was conducted as part of the agency's anti-black money drive. Out of the seized stash, 8 crore rupees was in cash, mostly 2,000 rupees notes, while the rest was bullion, jewellery, diamonds and other precious stones. The assets reportedly belonged to some high net worth individuals from Delhi, including a builder, a gutka trader and some businessmen based in the national capital. Cold wave conditions continue in several parts of North India. The minimum temperature in Leh dropped several degrees, with mercury recording below freezing temperatures at all weather monitoring stations. Srinagar recorded a minimum temperature of minus 4.6 degrees Celsius. Chilly conditions prevailed in Himachal Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh as well. Dense fog affected trains and flight services as well. Flight services in and out of Chennai were affected due to a thick cover of smog bogie festival celebrations. Airport officials said both the incoming and outgoing air traffic was severely affected early in the morning. As many as 18 arriving flights were diverted to Bengaluru and Hyderabad airports. No flights took off for nearly 4 hours, resulting in delays. Well, it's time for a short break now, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Hello and welcome. I'm Amritanshu Rai and you're watching Law of the Land.
Gratuity under the Act is applicable only on the basis of the central government gratuity. Is shops and other establishments which are covered under the State Shops and Other Establishment Act.
निरंतर वेतन आयोग की में जो बढ़ोतरी हो रही है, तो अभी 7वें वेतन आयोग के हिसाब से सरकारी कर्मचारियों के लिए सीमा बढ़ा दी गई है।
Watch Law of the Land on Rajya Sabha television.
The prolific British poet and story writer Joseph Rudyard Kipling, one of the first masters of short stories in English. In 1894 appeared his Jungle Book, which became a children's classic all over the world. Kim, the story of Kimball O'Hara and his adventures in the Himalayas, is perhaps his most felicitous work published. Set in and concerned with India he had come to know and love so well. In 1907, Kipling became the first English language writer to receive the Nobel Prize for Literature.
Art arisen from a multi-hued cultural canvas. Tradition and cultural fervor dating back centuries. And encircling them all, there's a magic that awes. Embrace your nation's brilliant human warmth. Watch Colors of India, Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
राष्ट्रपति भवन स्थित जयपुर स्तंभ 145 फीट ऊंचा ये टावर ब्रिटिश वाइसराय को जयपुर के तत्कालीन महाराजा माधव सिंह की भेंट। स्तंभ का ऊपरी हिस्सा कांच से बने षटकोणीय सितारे और कांस्य कमल से सुसज्जित। स्तंभ के भीतर लगी 5 टन वजनी शैफ्ट से ये कमल घूमता है 6 इंच वृत्ताकार और ये प्रक्रिया दोहराई जाती है हर 3 सेकंड बाद बार बार।
बाल के पीछे मैं नहीं जाता था, बाल मेरे पास खुद आता था।
चांदनी रात में खेलते खेलते उनका नाम भी ध्यान सिंह से ध्यानचंद होता चला गया।
ध्यानचंद जी से स्टिक से जो चीज़ निकली है वो हॉकी के हिस्ट्री में मैजिक।
जो देश के सम्मान और इज्जत की खातिर हिटलर से भी कह सकता था मैं ठेठ हिंदुस्तानी हूं, चांदी के सिक्कों की खातिर वतन नहीं छोड़ूंगा।
विरासत में इस बार हॉकी के जादूगर मेजर ध्यानचंद की दास्तान सिर्फ राज्यसभा टीवी पर।
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, Iran on Saturday said it will retaliate against sanctions imposed on the head of its judiciary by the United States. This was in response to the US imposing fresh sanctions on 14 Iranian individuals and entities yesterday. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump stepped up efforts to fix a nuclear deal between Tehran and major powers.
Iran on Saturday slammed US President Donald Trump's decision to impose fresh sanctions on the head of its judiciary, stating that the move warrants a severe response. Iran's foreign ministry said the Trump administration's hostile and illegal act in including head of its judiciary, Ayatollah Larijani, in its sanctions list has gone way beyond all internationally accepted behavior red lines. Iran also rejected any changes to its nuclear deal with world powers. On Friday, US President Donald Trump said he would extend sanctions relief over the landmark deal one last time. At the same time, the US imposed fresh sanctions on 14 individuals and entities, including the head of Iran's judiciary, over alleged rights abuses.
The only reason why the Trump administration is still in the Iran nuclear deal, is still a part of the Iran nuclear deal, is because the entire rest of the world, except for Israel and Saudi Arabia, have told the Trump administration, if you leave the deal, you will be isolated. So what they're trying to do is figure out a way to stay in the deal long enough while making sure that Iran does not get the economic benefits, so that it forces Iran to walk away, so that they can blame Iran for the deal's failure, rather than America getting the blame.
Trump also added that he was giving Europe and the US a last chance to fix the terrible flaws in the nuclear agreement that was signed by Iran and 6 world powers in 2015. The White House wants the EU signatories to agree on permanent restrictions on Iran's uranium enrichment. Under the current deal, they are set to expire in 2025. Trump also wants Iran's ballistic missile program to be addressed. Although the US has suspended sanctions against Iran after the nuclear deal, it still imposes punitive measures over issues like terrorism, human rights and ballistic missile development. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Well, the second test between India and South Africa is underway at the Supersport Park in Centurion. After winning the toss, South Africa elected to bat first. Till the tea break, South Africa had scored 182 runs for the loss of 2 wickets. Dean Elgers was the first wicket to fall. Aiden Markram top scored for the South African side with 94 runs before Ravichandran Ashwin got rid of him. Ravichandran Ashwin was the pick of the bowlers for the Indian side as he took both the wickets. Ashim Amla and AB de Villiers are currently at the crease.
Looked at Shami and his debut reverse swing was outstanding. New ball swinging.
Here's a roundup of the other sports news in Sports Beat. Yuki Bambri beat Spain's Carlos Taberner to reach the third and final round of the Australian Open qualifiers. Bambri defeated Carlos 6-0, 6-2 in the second round of the men's singles qualifiers. He will next face Canada's Peter Polansky for a place in the main draw. Defending champions India beat Pakistan by 7 wickets in the Blind Cricket World Cup in Dubai. Batting first, Pakistan scored 282 for the loss of 8 wickets in their 40 overs. Chasing the target, India clings to victory in just 34.5 overs. Deepak Malik top scored with an unbeaten 79, while skipper Ajay Reddy scored 47. Trent Bolt's bowling spell helped New Zealand beat Pakistan by 183 runs in the third one-day international to clinch the series 3-0. Bolt took 3 wickets in the 5 balls to dismiss Pakistan's top order. Batting New Zealand were all out for 257. Kane Williamson top scored for the New Zealand side with 73 runs, while Ross Taylor scored 52. Chasing the target, Pakistan were bundled up for just 74 runs. Trent Bolt picked up 5 wickets for 17 runs. Former world number 1 Angelique Kerber of Germany won the Sydney International Final. Kerber defeated Australia's Ashley Barty 6-4, 6-4. With the win, the 2-time Grand Slam champion Kerber registered her 9th win of the year. In the first set, Barty double faulted to hand Kerber the first break. and a 3-2 lead. The second set witnessed early exchange of breaks, but Kerber took a lead and won the set to pick up her 11th career title. Champions Bayern Munich beat Bayer Leverkusen 3-1 to end Leverkusen's 12-game unbeaten league run in Bundesliga. Javi Martinez scored the opener in the 32nd minute to give Munich a 1-0 lead over Leverkusen. Frank Ribery scored the second goal for Munich in the 59th minute to extend their lead to 2-0. Leverkusen showed some comeback as Kevin Wallen scored Leverkusen's first goal, but a goal from James Rodriguez in the stoppage time sealed the victory for Munich. Well, that's it on this newscast. Have a good evening.